Yo, what's good, guys? So we're tuning in from Miami. As you can see, we're on the 50th floor. Right now, I'm a 15-year-old high school dropout, if you did not know, actually, and we are doing $50K per month with the agency, okay? I'm gonna put some screenshots if you don't fucking believe me. I know it's actually pretty crazy how high we're up right now, and all the fucking Corvettes going by, all this crazy shit. So we're in the penthouse, got a corner wrap, we got 2 balconies here for the 2-bedroom, and this is a fireplace. I'm gonna explain exactly how I was able to get into situations like this, network, and as well as just overall grow my agency, because it's so easy to hit 10K per month. I'm also going to Cape Town literally next month, and right afterwards, February, I'm going to Dubai. So we already got the Airbnb booked. We already got everything pretty much set out, and you might be wondering like, oh, how do my parents, let me do all this crazy shit? I'll break that down in this video, as well as just a ton of other shit, just to show you guys, like, I literally left my hometown 6 months ago, and that was the start of everything for me. It did not take a lot of time. Of course, I got my first SMA client when I was 13, but I was not serious, right? And I'm gonna tell you exactly how. If you just dialed in and you actually put in the work for just 1 month, I'm telling you, just 1 month, you're able to hit 10K per month. It's not that hard. I'm gonna break down the whole structure. I know I don't have like a whiteboard for you guys and all this shit, but I have a ton of notes that I have from my previous experience of 2.5 years of running my own SMA and being 15 years old and doing numbers like I'm doing, and getting into situations where I'm able to meet people with literally millions of dollars liquid inside of their bank accounts, and as well as just networking overall, because it was not easy for me, especially being somebody where you get to be that person where you're on that grind phase and you're disconnecting from all your old friends and all that stuff. Now you're trying to get to be the person worthy of meeting these high level people, like where I'm at in my situation right now. And there's that 1 year like lonely grind phase, or however long it is takes you to become that new person, right? 6 months ago, I was in school. Like, I was literally, fat as hell last year. No one liked me. Then it was a little bit better because I started playing basketball and actually getting a little bit fit. And my whole life changed literally this past year, okay? And if you don't know already, like, I was 20 pounds, like almost overweight of what I am currently right now. And I was also a way ton shorter. So, I mean, you could say it was puberty, a little bit of that, but as well as it comes from a ton of discipline, because, so like, there's literally supercars down the street. Like, I don't know if you guys can hear this because I have the mic on, but all I hear is supercars. Like, all I do. And a lot of people can get comfortable with the situation that they are in right now, right? But seeing like sunset like this and all this crazy shit, and seeing all the cars and all that stuff, it motivates you, man, and it keeps you pushing, because you, like, of course, you'll get to the point where you have your favorite supercar, you have your dream car, a lot of people's dream car, because everybody wants the same shit. Like, I'm not saying that, everybody wants to retire their parents, but personally me, like, I want the financial freedom to be able to go wherever I want, which I've already achieved, but also retire my parents and just help whoever that, had me from day one. And that should be your same goal as well, building a great family, because that's a whole purpose of a man. Like, of course, like the seed and all that, but that's for another video. But really, how I got into this whole space was just me being in a very, very bad situation when I grew up. So I did not have a father figure. My mom worked 3 jobs, and it was very, very glad to her. Like, she did so much to support me and just give me the best, like, child experience, like, growing up, right? But I was still a horrible kid. 2nd grade, all those grades, like, when I was in elementary school, like, I was just getting put in the principal's office. I was getting in trouble, and I overall just made it a shitty experience just to be a child in general, just to be someone that was likable, okay? And I'm not social at all. Like, I might seem on these videos like I'm actually good at talking and all this stuff, but I'm literally human just like you. And you have to understand, bro, the people that are driving Bugattis and all these fancy cars, they're not too different from you, except for, like, yeah, maybe they ended up putting in more years of experience and all that stuff. But I realized at a young age that no one is coming to save me. No one's gonna, bring me out of bed and tell me exactly what to do, A to Z. I had to research it myself. I had to figure out, I had to get mentors, and that's when I had my most pivotal and most growth in my actual self, because everything comes from being the business owner. Like, you can be the coolest guy, you can be funny and all that stuff, and yeah, that will get you into circles. But being the most overall and the well-rounded, like having a personal brand, having all the stuff that, people want, that's exactly what's going to put you in groups like this. Because yeah, some guys are not even, doing like crazy amount of money, like they're doing 20-30K per month. But as an overall, I don't want you to think that I'm like flexing with all, the nice cribs I've been to, me traveling across the states and just cash collecting like 40K per month, 50K per month. Like, I don't want you to think that this is me flexing in a, nonchalant or just like way, because a lot of guys, bro, like in the space, like, you will be surprised of how much times people flex all their shit and they don't actually have money in their bank account. Because yeah, you see me like going to these Airbnbs and stuff, but I actually have liquid in my account because I've been at this for so long. I've been doing my months for many months now, and a lot of guys, they would stretch themselves thin. And then just being in touch with those people that have been there or gone through it, or they have friends that have gone through it, they know 30 guys in the space, you know, different industries, of course, and you get to learn a lot of life values from older people. Like, for example, I'm 15 years old. I meet guys that are 30, like almost 30 years old. I'm not gonna say specifically who, of course, but they appreciate the shit that you do, man. If you're like 15 years old, or you're even 18 years old, or you're even 20 years old, like watching this video, or even you're working a 9 to 5 and you're working a job and all that stuff, stop thinking like it's too late. Because so many guys, like I would see this too, like is you have like no responsibilities. You don't have to pay for your, you know, maybe you might have to pay for your college tuition and all that stuff. But if I saw that high school was going to get me a degree, high school is then going to get me into college, right? Have the degree of the college. So what high school would do is just, the end goal really is just to make the money, right? High school, you get that, right? And then you go into college, you get that, get the degree gets you money. If I'm able to shortcut that way to making money, what is the point of going to high school? Of course, like there's the experience and stuff, but overall, like I'm gonna be honest with you, if you create a habit where like you don't associate yourself with all the shit, like I have friends like that I meet up with, and they're like, dude, I wasn't doing the shit that you were doing at your age and all this stuff, and it's fine. Like I understand that, because I had to do this shit from a young age. I had to make this shit work. I didn't just roll, you know, I couldn't just roll a six and hope it, you know, on the dice and hoping that it happens. I couldn't just roll a 6 and think that, you know, it'd be pretty cool, like, you know, I want to make all the money and stuff like that. I had to fucking make it. I had to make sure that there was nothing that was going to stop me from being to the point where I was fucking insane. I was delusional. And sometimes, like, I'm not saying you have to go to that delusional route, but I was fucking crazy, bro. Nobody was on that fucking frequency. I was, and that's how I was able to make all this shit happen so quick. And it also comes down to a time span of, like, how bad do you actually fucking want it? Because there are, like, I started when I was 11, 12 years old, a little bit in the business space. I grew another YouTube channel that was a gaming channel. Then I did stocks. Then I did e-com. I did SMMA. Then I went into e-com, but then I had the shiny object system, got back at SMMA, and now when I focus on one thing, I'm doing 50K per month with that one thing. So if you're able to do that, and you're able to, like, you know, put your years into business, because you guys might see, like, there's popular guys that are now like 21-year-olds, they're millionaires, but they started when they were like 14 years old. So really, when you think about it, it just comes down to the knowledge, and as well as like the network speeds that shit up. Like, I'm getting into conversations where I'm seeing guys that work with guys with like 300,000 subscribers, you know, million followers on Instagram, growth operating, they run their whole funnel, their whole back end, and it's insane to see like how the whole back end process works, and just the explanation before like all the things, right? Because I could, like, some guy would, you know, come up to me, like many people DM me on Instagram asking about SMMA, like how do you set up go high level on this, how do you like get some testimonials, how do you get some case studies, how you set up a website, how do you do all this shit. And I feel like that same person asking a growth operator, like that's actually scaling someone's, you know, info product or something like that, right? I would be like, you know, what is going on here? Like, this is pretty interesting, right? Because I didn't know it, right? And that's the amazing thing with networking with people. And that's the thing I had to realize, that money is everywhere, as well as like at the same time that this is all just like, it's not a fantasy, like it's all right in front of us. Our ancestors did not have this opportunity. And what I also realized, like at the same time, like my mom was great, right? Like I'm not gonna talk anything bad on her, but she would contradict all the stuff of like, you know, the business, you know, she would want me to be a normal kid and stuff like that. And that just comes from a position of love. And you sometimes have to understand and convey messages where like, okay, is this like what I want to do? Is it like, oh, I want to become the doctor or the nurse, but or did my parents just tell me that? Or did what the media fed me online, is that what I actually want to do? Or is that actually what I want to believe? Sometimes you got to question some shit and be like, what do I actually want out of life? What I want to do? Do I want to help people? Like, of course, I would think money comes all from helping people and just creating value where there's not. There's so many people here in Miami where they do like, you know, e-com, but like e-com's a little shady. You know, you can run into the wrong people. Trust me, I've seen some weird guys in the e-com space here, to be honest. But if you run into the right people, like there's people running info. There's like a woman here that completely went into an untapped market, started putting sales reps for women, right? and I'm not gonna say her name, but like she's doing like almost 1.5 million per month, and that's just from like an info product of her just going into a field where there's no competition, right? I'm not saying you don't have to go into something that's not competitive, but like it shows you what the possibility here is with just like, you know, being in a place like this where I could just go ahead, you know, and of course you got to work your way up to this. Like I was not in this position. Like 6 months ago is when I first left my hometown. I went to Texas, and then I was there for like a month or two. Then I went to Europe, and from there I went from Hungary to Belgium. I was there for like 2 months. Like I was just raw dogging it, and I learned so many life lessons being here because I've been around people where they've been in my situation for many years that I've been in, okay, and they were growing the same way and of course like I've grown way quicker as far as in the money set, but I've also realized how to like enjoy life and how to, you know, really see the quality in life. Because yeah, you know, working hard is amazing. I love working 12-hour days. Like don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this like I'm fucking lying. Like I actually do enjoy, I get so much fulfillment from like working hard, and the thing I get from a lot of these guys is like just don't burn out, okay? And I personally have a mentor that went from like 3K in his bank account at the beginning of, you know, this year to the end of the year of 2024, the end of the year, having 750K in his bank account. I was like, bro, he's telling me like, oh, I'm burnt out. He's got only like fucking 7 employees, bro. I'm like, I'm never burning out. Like I never burn out. I have that dog in me. And that's also the same thing you got to realize. Like if you're 15 years old, you're 16 years old, you're 17 years old, you're 18 years old, you have like the most testosterone that you're ever going to have in your life. So I'm not even saying it's just a testosterone thing, but you have the most luck you can create is now. The most responsibilities that you have is so fucking low right now. And of course now I'm able to provide for myself. I'm able to make my own money. I'm able to do the shit where like I was never able to do this because, you know, I didn't have the money. I didn't have all these things where I could just provide for myself and live my own luxury of life. Now that I'm able to do that, of course I have responsibilities now. You're there. Like, you have no fucking responsibilities. You probably don't even pay for your own food. You probably have your mom fucking cooking food, bro. If you have your mom cooking food, how less of a man can you be, really? Because I'm 15 years old here in Miami, and you're not. I mean, that's the thing that should piss you off. It should not get you sad, or it should not, you know, make you scroll, right? It should get you so motivated to the point where, like, you want it so bad that you don't fucking sleep. And I know sometimes I'm against that thing because, like, if you don't sleep, you internally, you lose consciousness and you start to, you know, I felt that way before, trust me. Like, last 3 weeks, maybe a month, I was not fucking sleeping. Like, I was sleeping maybe 5 or 6 hours a day, and that might sound like a lot to some people, but genuinely, for someone who's putting in 14, 16-hour work days, like, and maybe eating food for 2 hours of the day, like, that is not a lot, right? That is not a lot of sleep. For someone who needs to put in quality inputs to get quality outputs and get absolutely as much as they can from their inputs, this is not a lot of sleep. And that's the thing that I realized. For example, today, I'm going to go to sleep at 9 p.m. I'm looking at the sunset right now. I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is literally like it's telling my brain, like, hey, you got to go to sleep now, right? And that's going to prepare me for the next day. Tomorrow's Monday, right? Today, you know, we take it a little bit more easy. We don't take any calls. We don't take any meetings, you know, just making a little bit of operating procedures if you haven't already. I'm making a 100K per month series, so we've already uploaded a couple of that, so if you want to check it out after this video. But I'm documenting everything with like the onboarding SOPs. For example, my CSM had a really tough first week, but at the same time, that's what you face as an employer. That's what you face, like, you know, random shit pops up, and it's crazy that, you know, I only have like a team of 6 or 7 people, where it's like, okay, you know, that's probably not going to happen most commonly, but now it does. And me making 50K per month should not piss you off. It should make you only motivated, because I would never have been in this situation if I didn't just start. So if the only thing you can take away from this video is to start the business, okay, stick for it to 4 months minimum, okay? You know, you could hop from thing to month to month, but you're not going to get anywhere with that, man. So start now, get after it, man. And if you want, follow me on Instagram at niv.coachjavi. So subscribe, because there's so much free value on here. I don't sell no bullshit 997 course. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one, man. Have a good one.